This is said 3 times by Moon. Guys, that's how it will be verified, and you'll understand that I truly wish to discuss additional folks. We discuss this because there is a lot of positive news concerning Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. Larry Fink, CEO of Justin BlackRock, forecasts Bitcoin may rise to between $500,000 and $700,000, and if it does, $500,000 or more will soon be available. If that happens, consider Ethereum at around $50,000. $50 is the minimum 5-digit amount for ETH and XRP. I believe that's correct because therefore my moon targets for Bitcoin this cycle are 300,000. Although I honestly believe a greater double digit, I think the minimum Ethereum is about 30,000 to 20,000. The minimum XRP is around $50 to $20. This is why BlackRock is so bullish, but that's just my view and not funny advice. I don't know what you're doing if you're not bullish on cryptos in general, stated one of the major puppets in finikicism. The money is being lost by you. BlackRock is consuming Bitcoin because they recently purchased an additional 3,000 of it today. Observe the pattern, isn't it simply going up? Do any of you guys recall Mr. Pool to the right? Despite being merely a pump, it never stops. That is precisely how BlackRock has handled Bitcoin inflows thus far. Yes, it simply goes up and consolidates. Isn't it just repeating the same pattern? These are the bots that are controlling Bitcoin then. Money is coming in this way, and I have a strong suspicion that Bitcoin is going to make a new amazing high. That is what we will be discussing, guys. The property market has also become a factor. Alright, there's a lot of stories about how Fidelity purchases 1,000 Bitcoin and how Fidelity is simply more comfortable purchasing Bitcoin, but BlackRock is buying in bulk. Probably since they're in a no, they have more money and more people to buy from who are really bullish. However, a White House official claims that the government of NAC has a plan to accumulate Bitcoin. Correct? Additionally, others claim that this cycle will not see Bitcoin reach 6 figures. They believe that guy because of their mental limitations, don't they? Why do they think Bitcoin can't rise higher than it has in the past? Correct? It hasn't done it previously. However, it's possible that they will simply raise everything as we believe it to be before it collapses. Everyone working on digital assets in the White House is focused on those, you know. As you are aware, the report on the interagency operations will be released soon. With the SBR, we have already taken a few actions. How do we go with the accumulation plan after that, you know? As a result, opportunities and activities abound. So I'll get straight back to it after we leave here. Since they're going to do it anyhow, let's just go on. What do they have to wait for? An asset manager worth $6 trillion. According to Fidelity, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin are still developing. Yes, I will definitely do so when Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies literally skyrocket and explode upward. Since Bitcoin seems to be moving quickly, let me briefly discuss it, guys. It is currently maintaining support at 107K. Since this is on the log chart, if you take it off the log chart twice, there will be a lot of support. At roughly 107 Kelvin, double support guys will hold 107 Kelvin. The next targets will be 112K guys. Alright, that will be a liquidity grab, therefore it will be really important. That's all I'm worried about in this situation, isn't it? However, as soon as it retains 112,000 as support, you guys will be prepared for the following goal, which is 120,000, in addition to the fact that the moon is almost here. The amount of Bitcoin available on exchanges has dropped to an all-time low, isn't that right? What's intriguing about this is XRP reportedly had a similar circumstance because it appears that all of these coins are reserves on exchanges. This must be the case. Let's see. Is it correct? Yes, on exchanges, folks. Alright, so these exchanges have a supply of Bitcoin, correct? Guys, is the green line the balance? The quantity of Bitcoin on a trading platform, correct? It is decreasing over time or across all exchanges combined. It appears that amounts to around 2 million men. Alright, so the price of Bitcoin is increasing, which makes logical given that everyone is simply purchasing and hoarding it, and they can store it anywhere they need to or in cold storage. The Nasdaq seasonality in July is something else, so it's getting insane, guys. July is just a few days away. Alright? Next week. Then what? Monthly returns for the Nasdaq. It's literally all green on the stock market in July. Only in 2024 was there a period of -1% in the red. Thus, folks, July is going to be a crazy month. Because what will happen to Bitcoin, XRP, and ETH if the Nasdaq or these equities grow and the major stocks in the stock market climb by only a few percentage points? Moon, literally, and we see it this way. This explains why there is more news than ever before. I'm genuinely thrilled. Justin is the director of the Federal Housing Order, which prepares businesses to count cryptocurrency as a mortgage asset. What just took place? What? Following extensive research and in line with President Trump's goal of making Nazis the global center of cryptocurrency, I today gave the venerable Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac orders to get their companies ready to accept Bitcoin as a mortgage asset. Good catch, or good news for the 55 million Americans who own crypto, says Sir Alderode, Chief Legal Officer at Ripple. What can the 55 million Americans who currently own cryptocurrency do? Let's continue reading. Do you realize how huge this is? Order giving instructions to take cryptocurrencies into account as an asset for single-family loans that are sent to Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. By offering stability and liquidity to the secondary market for residential mortgages through conservative criteria to assure sustainable long-term ownership, Fannie Mae and Freddie